Wow, there's lots of you. Cool. She stole my first sentence. I'm Rose. I'm a user researcher. I'm wearing a big user research sorting hat today. I do have my other sorting hat, which is anthropology. I think I win a bet. Anyway, so today is, obviously I have not got a lot of time, so my idea is to throw some people out there. That's just quick. I have to do that because of sponsors. So that's us. So yeah, I'm going to throw some ideas at you. Hopefully, ideas kind of bounce, and as they bounce, they form something useful. So get on Twitter. If you don't agree with me, let me know. Let's bounce. So my first idea today is that information is a gift. So this happens all the time. People give us information all the time, and I really like using the gift exchange metaphor to sort of better understand how user research is being effective in both its sort of research capacity and then how it's applied to design. Whew. Sorry, first talk. So if you don't know what gift exchange is, probably the best way to understand it is to look at Christmas. So you can have small direct exchanges of gifts. If we're mates, I will give you a Christmas present, hopefully you'll give me one back, and that exchange symbolizes our relationships of being like good mates. You can also see sort of more sort of larger exchanges. So you've got Secret Santa, I'll give a gift to someone else will give me a gift, but all of that is sort of a big sort of explanation of our symbolic relationship as a group. So applying this to user research, you can see small direct exchanges of information as a gift in usability sessions. So for example, a participant gives you the gift of observing them interacting with a thing. And as they're interacting, they identify some problems, or you observe some problems that are happening, like right-hand side blindness, sort of a classic thing. You then go away and you go and fix that problem, and then you've given them back, in this nice direct exchange, a sort of more user-centric service with less user interaction problems. And this can be sort of stretched out, so you've got slightly larger exchanges with user research. So you go and you do a discovery phase, and you find out lots of user needs, and then in turn you can even pull that into those KPIs, those strategic objectives of the project, and make the whole service more user-centric. So that's idea number one. Idea number two is a politrick, which is from like 90s gangster rap. A politrick for me is like a sleight of hand, where you've got some like user representative information, and then you manipulate it to sort of achieve like a business motive that may or may not be sort of incorporating user need. And I don't want to be too harsh. This happens unconsciously as much as it happens consciously, probably more unconsciously. And it's usually to fill the unknown. The unknown is a massive power vacuum with everybody trying to sort of define different areas of it and get it mapped quickly. Unknown is a really uncomfortable space to be in. And so people can do that with user insight or not. So maybe you can start to see where the gift exchange model is sort of breaking a little bit. We've not got that sort of push of user information up to the top, and it's not coming back down. So, did I miss one? No. Okay, so what are the indicators of these two approaches? And these two approaches can sort of happen in one single project. Don't think they're opposites. They can happen sort of in parallel, they can happen sort of contradictory, or they can sort of happen sort of together in sort of harmony, almost. So I ask these questions. I ask, is prediction important to people and why? Does equality always mean the same? And don't treat users like dictators, and that means both don't be a dictator yourself and don't let the users dictate you. Dictatorship is sort of bad. So prediction and control is very focused on behavior outputs, and it's really restrictive of getting into sort of user head space. And unless there is a need that users are unaware of that they have, which is really, really rare, let them use their rationale to resolve their need. Make it easy for them to apply their logic to your site to get to the thing that they want to do. So that's why you have to question, is prediction important? Does quality mean the same? So equality should mean equal impact on users. The one t-shirt size doesn't fit everyone, so don't apply that to your users. Every stage of the research should be responsive to the variety of users, and if that responsiveness in methodology has to soak up some inequality, to make sure that people are being treated the same, have the same impact on their lives, it should totally do that. Like, we like users, we don't want them to sort of be persecuted ever. And that leads nicely onto the final one, which is users are complex people and embrace the sort of detail and the sort of complex relationships that they sort of bring to the table. Recognize that relationships are really important ways of understanding different data points, and avoid sort of segmenting people into little user groups that will then sort of like dictate where you go next, allow them to be responsive to you. He's waving at me, cool. So, so yes, absorb and represent as much detail as you possibly can, and your solutions will be super responsive and will bounce over time and be more resilient to complex changing relationships. And this brings me on to my final point. Rude cough, cool. So balancing the value of information from various positions and how they relate to us as researchers can allow us to be really representative of both needs from the bottom and from the top, so users and stakeholders. And doing this will allow us to both take the value and sort of recognizing the precious information that users have and incorporate that back up into the system over here, which is stakeholders, and then we get dancing, and then we have really cool projects. Yay! Dancing.
Oh, you danced. I enjoyed the dancing.